Hello viewers, here's a different video for you. I know this is a gun channel, but I figured as the channel evolves and we're getting more subscribers and I have more friends out there, it's good for us to get to know each other a little bit more and more, and we interact in our virtual world. I love your comments, and I've been getting comments. Hey Tom, you know, we want to see your dirt bikes. I know that you like to go dirt bike riding. It's been my passion my whole entire life. For 20 straight years, I raced a good 40 weekends per year. When you hear the word dirt bike, or motocross, I should say, when you hear motocross, most people envision in their mind, like you see on TV, the guys doing the big jumps and all that. I did that when I was younger, but most of my passion throughout my life, when I did all my racing, was what's called hare scrambles and enduros, meaning you go as fast as possible through the tightest forest there is. You know, and I traveled the whole southeast of the United States for 20 straight years, like I said, 40 weekends, and ran the complete circuit. In Florida, we have what's called Florida Trail Riders, FTR for short, and you know, they would put on possibly 20 hare scrambles a year and a dozen what's called enduros. An enduro is a type of race where you go about 120 miles through the thickest terrain. You never see the same trail twice. Sometimes it's so tight that you can barely get your bars through it. And as I show you the bikes, I'll explain to you why they are designed the way they are. Boy, they've come a long way, and you'll see what I'm talking about. So this is just something a little bit different. You see the Viper in the middle. I'll show you the engine, the modifications I've done, and I'm also going to show you how I transport the dirt bikes. I think that's going to be the coolest part of the video, possibly. My trailer is, everything I do is like a little extreme. So I picked out my 4 favorite dirt bikes and my favorite bicycle. I got a bunch of everything. So here we go, and I'm going to take the camera off the tripod and do my best at keeping it stable. And let's take a look at these bikes. Okay, I'm starting out with what's called a KTM. One thing I can say that these bikes have in common with Glock is they're both made in Austria. KTM is known, if you know anything about dirt bikes, as the best dirt bike for off-road riding, which is what I've done my whole life, riding through the forest and tight trees. In Florida, you have to design your bike specifically for your height, weight, the suspension, and the type of terrain that you're on and racing through. In Florida, we have mostly sandy, whoop-de-doo type things, and what's called palmetto scrub. Palmetto is a small little palmetto, a little palm tree, maybe 2 feet tall, but it's mostly stump, and you can't see through the greenery of the palm tree. And boy, when you hit that, your suspension better be ready for it. There's just thousands upon thousands of them throughout the terrain in Florida, no matter where you are in Florida. So what I'm getting at is your suspension has to be custom designed. I always, when I buy my bike, I break it down. I do all the work on these bikes myself, and I'll send off all the parts to be customized. For instance, the front forks on these, there's a company called MX Tech does that kind of work. So it's night and day from when it comes stock from the factory, from KTM. Then you send it out and you bring it back, and what you do is you tell the guy who's modifying your shock and forks, your height, weight, your riding ability, the class that you race, and everything comes back perfectly designed for you. These bikes, of course, they do have disc brakes. KTM's are nice because it's all hydraulic. Disc brakes front and rear. They're all water cooled now. And as you can see, here's the radiators. See the pipe there? This is a 2-stroke. I'm going to talk about that, how I have the carbon fiber protector. That's for the tough terrain of the forest and rocks and stumps and going through creeks and logs. And I've gone over logs just as thick as 3-4 feet in diameter, and dozens and dozens and dozens of them for miles on end. And you just really have to be in shape to ride one of these in a 3-hour-long race non-stop. The only time you would stop is for a quick gas break and trying to fill up your Camelback with fluid again, and then you get right back out of there. My wife has been my pit crew for so I've known her since she's 22, so I'm 47. For pretty much my whole riding, I won't say career because it's only a hobby, but all the riding and the racings I've done about 1,000 races in my career and of riding, and also I've practiced 3-4 days a week for a good 20-year stretch. In Florida, we have what's called a place called Croom, C-R-O-O-M, which is only open to dirt bikes or 4-wheelers, and that's it. And you have to pay to get in, which is wonderful. People from all over the United States come to ride at Croom, and that's where I've spent a lot of my time practicing. You'll notice some modifications here I've done on the handlebars. It's made by a company called Scott's. that's suspension for your handlebars. So if you hit a rock, say 6 inches tall, you'll have some flex, some give in your handlebars. This is a computer. This is designed for when you race an enduro. The enduro is the type of race where you have to stay on your minutes, so to speak. You don't want to be too fast or too slow. You have to keep an average speed of 24 miles an hour, which might not sound that fast, but when you're going through trees that are as thick, or I should say as thin as your handlebars, you have to actually cut your handlebars down. These are down to about 31 inches, and they probably come stock at 33, because you want to be able to get through that tight terrain. So what an enduro is you have to, there's checkpoints throughout the race, and you have to be on your minute. If you get there too fast, like if you're going through cow pastures and you're going 90, 100, 110 miles an hour, you might be going too fast and you're not on your minute, so this computer keeps you on time. It's like a rally type of thing. You want to be on your minute and get to that checkpoint, in which you'll come around some thick trees, and all of a sudden there'll be a check stop there, and they'll mark your card, which is on the front of your fender there. Anyway, that's what an enduro is. Of course, you have your hand guards here, big protection against the trees, so your hand will not be injured. Yes, I've had injuries. I know you're thinking about that. Let's look at a different bike as I chat. That's a 300 EXC. This is a KTM 250 SX. This is designed for Supercross. I've modified it for the forest. They're both 2 strokes. The transmissions are different on these. I don't want to get too detailed. This is a gun channel, but they're just super high quality. These bikes cost stock, I think it's $7,000-8,000 stock, but when you're done modifying them, you're up to a good $12,000 for a good KTM. All right, so these are actually my 2 favorites. Well, I can't say that. It's like saying which child is your favorite. But I like the 250 because it's got a sparky engine for Supercross, for hitting those big jumps. So it's really good at low end. And then the 300 is more designed for really smooth suspension, and really designed to withstand all the small bumps and palm trees and going over the rough terrain of an enduro type race. I also race what's called hare scrambles, and that's about an 80-mile long race, and there's just the first one to finish wins, and it's right through the forest, and there's no rules, there's no speed limits. It's just go, wide open throttle. Some of the injuries I've had a number of life-threatening injuries as we look at the bike. One, I think the worst one I guess I can say, was when I was impaled by a tree through my neck. I've got a huge scar from my right ear going down the middle of my chest by my collarbone. Talk about a miracle. The tree branch went through where my goggle area is on a full face helmet, and then went into right below my right ear and impaled me, and went all the way through my neck, severed 2 jugular veins. This was only 4 years ago. And tape is being made in May of 11, in the middle of the Ocala National Forest. That was not during a race, that was practicing. And what happened was, I was just laying there for dead. Luckily, I was in a line of 4 guys, third in line with my buddies, just trail riding, hauling ass through the forest. And the guy behind me, lucky he was there. Talk about miracles. First thing, his name is Larry. He goes, "What do I do?" And I'm just laying there dying, bleeding to death, facetiously. Lucky the tree snapped and stayed in my neck. If, as I'm going forward, it went into my neck, it impaled me. If it would have kept and pulled itself right back out, I would have died within a minute, because I had 2, like I said, jugular veins severed. Well, what happened was, the first miracle was this tree didn't snap. The second miracle was, we're out in the middle of nowhere, and we were dummies. We don't have a cell phone with us, and I'm just laying there for dead. It was actually not long after I was married. My wife was pregnant with our first child, or the first child was actually just born, I should say. And I'm just telling Larry, tell everybody I love them, and what happens is, some guy in a 4-wheeler out in the middle of nowhere, 20 miles out in the middle of the forest, out in the middle of nowhere. I'm down for about maybe 2 minutes now, just laying there for dead. And he goes, "Hey, you guys need some help or anything?" Larry's like, you got a cell phone?" "Yeah, I got one." 911, make a long story short, helicopter comes flying in from a hospital called St. Joseph in Tampa, trauma unit. And then the helicopter comes out, and then the next miracle was, where does the helicopter land? As I show you the Viper, the inside of the Viper, There was no place for it to land. The forest was so thick, but there happened to be a little spot, maybe I'd say 50 yards away, 150 feet away, and that helicopter landed and flew me in. I have no residual effects. That's my worst injuries. Some of the other injuries that stick with me is when I broke my back hitting a tree. You know, oak trees don't bend, I found out, by the way. I had some beautiful lines on that car. Talk about something more happy. But I did break my back and my neck one time. That was in a race. I broken, I don't want to sound like Evel Knievel, because I'm actually consider myself, I was an A rider for many years. The better rider you are, the less chance you have at having injuries. And I'll show you the gear I wear here in a little bit. I'm armored up like a hockey player, if not even more. But the better you are, the less chance you have of being injured. And when I look at the amount of hours I spent on a saddle of a dirt bike and the amount of, just literally thousands of races and thousands of days riding over 20 years, it was 3-4 days a week and almost 40 weekends a year. The accidents I've had that I can look back in my mind and say that were really horrific, there's about 5 of them. So that's not bad when you consider all the riding I've done, and I'm about to still do. Well, next time I go riding, which will be the summer of 2011, I'm going to wear a helmet cam and show you what it's like to go 40, 50, 60 miles an hour on one of these high-end dirt bikes. These are both very special. These are Honda. They're 2 strokes, and they have a 500cc engine in them. Honda does not make Honda 500s anymore. They stopped that years ago, but you can get them custom made. This white one here in particular, see this limited edition? This was custom made for me. This is the most expensive dirt bike I have. It has a 125cc frame, so it's a very small frame with a 500 engine put into it for myself. And I had this custom made from a company called Service Honda from the ground up, specifically made for my height, my weight, my riding ability. Everything is custom on it, from the forks to the shock to the everything, just the internal parts of the engine. So this is what I use for motocross and actually riding on a motocross track, not supercross. Those are the big jumps. Motocross is more of smaller jumps. See, I don't have handguards on this. This is really amazing. You just can't imagine with 62 horsepower on a 2-stroke on only a 220-pound dirt bike is, with the highest technology. Riding this is just absolutely amazing. It does take some skill, and it scares most people. It is a CR 500 AF. That stands for aluminum frame. You can Google that. You'll see what I'm talking about. They're very rare. Here's a nice look at the Viper engine. I'm really glad that Dodge kept the Viper line alive in 2008 when the auto industry took a dump there, and a lot of the models were just defunct. But they did keep the Viper alive, and I'm really glad. I'll tell you a little history about Viper here in a moment and Dodge. But right now, the front of this engine is all aftermarket. This is a Paxton supercharger. It immediately adds at least 200 horsepower, and it makes the engine run a lot smoother, meaning that it has more air flowing through it. It runs cooler. The throttle to your foot, it's just super NASCAR-like. I've never ridden a true NASCAR, obviously, but I can't imagine it being much too different, besides their suspension and, of course, the modifications those cars have. But this car is very close to NASCAR style. It is a true American muscle car. So it's got a Paxton supercharger, which is that right there. And all of this beautiful polished aluminum is all aftermarket. This whole system up here on the top right is the aftermarket fuel line system to feed the supercharger. It's got a huge 10-cylinder engine. Now, at one time, Dodge was owned by Dahlman Chrysler, and Dahlman at one time owned Lamborghini and, as we know, Mercedes. So the suspension on this car is true Mercedes. As a matter of fact, I have a Mercedes AMG, and it's the same suspension technology that's on this Viper, late model Mercedes that I have, the big 4-door. The engine is taken from the Lamborghini technology, the 10-cylinder famous Lamborghini technology. So when Daimler owned Lamborghini at one time, they also had all that technology. So Dodge, they merged with Daimler and Chrysler, and this is a 2004. It has incredible technology into this engine, suspension. It's nothing like any other type of muscle car I've ridden or owned. I've owned a lot of them, and I'm not going to mention them because they're all good. I like them all. So the other thing about the car is the aftermarket products is the, you can't see it, but the exhaust is what's called a Bellinger. Okay, the exhaust comes right out from under your seat, and you can't tell here, but it's got what's called a Bellinger headers and exhaust. Any of you muscle car guys out there know what Bellinger is, and you know what Paxton is. Alright, let me show you the inside of the cockpit. And all that brushed aluminum is aftermarket. I did all that. That's got the satellite radio. I've got the radar, all these different radar detector things to make sure the police don't catch me speeding, which I never do. I'll never speed in this car. Come on. Even the stick shift is aftermarket. It's very short. The stock one is way too tall, and that's like a billiards ball. It's really nice with the Viper logo in it. Okay, so that's the inside. It's just a trip to drive. It's only got 11,000 miles on it, maybe 12,000. And I'll do some more rides with this. I want to take you guys to the Everglades and do some trips to the Everglades. Let's look at some other things, including the tires. You feel it. It's fun. It's like getting in a NASCAR. The tires are among the widest of all. I'm sorry if I'm getting you dizzy. Let me back up and show you the tires. Are among the widest of all tires. They're 345 widths. Just to give you an idea. Oh my gosh, they're wide. You see that? This is a special bicycle made by Specialized. I figured I'd show you this. I have a bunch of mountain bikes and I'm into bicycling as a hobby. This is by far my favorite one. It's a pricey bicycle. I think I paid about $4,000 for it. You know, you might say, well, how can a bicycle cost $4,000 if you're not into bicycles? I'll tell you a little bit. It's the products it's made from. It's super lightweight, like space shuttle type materials. Front and rear disc brakes, suspension front and rear, high-tech suspension at that. I mean, look at the rear suspension on that, made by Fox. It's got one monoshock there, but it's really special. You can bicycle with this and really go through some terrain. If you're standing up off that seat, I have it set up really for the street right now, to tell you the truth, because I have like a 20-mile bicycle path that I go on that's mostly pavement, so I have it set up for that. But if I had the special tires for the dirt and you hit some really tough terrain, this will soak it up. That's what makes it special, is when you're switching gears, by the way, you don't even know you're switching gears. It's like a car transmission. You know how normally on a bicycle you hear it go click, 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 and you're going from third, fourth, fifth, sixth gear, whatever. With this, you don't even think either when you get good at riding this bicycle, and you have all of your components here at your fingertips to switch gears, and it's very high tech. You have to look in close there and see here. That's how you switch gears, and you've got components on both sides. Very special. Have some lighting for at night. I should have straightened them out for the video, but you get the idea. Specialized. This is my favorite mountain bike. Love to hook up with someone who's in South Florida who wants to go bicycling regularly once a week, and let's all get in shape. That's what it's all about. We can't just get old and be lazy. Got to stay in shape. Let me go show you the trailer and exactly how I transport the dirt bikes. It's pretty cool. When I pull into the pits, a lot of guys think they're almost like running out to me for my autographs because they see my rig, and I'm like, it's okay, I'm not a pro, but I have a pro type of rig. I'll show you what I'm talking about. Alright, here's the trailer, custom made for me by Wells Cargo. They make trailers, high-end trailers, all diamond plated all around. Show you the side of it. I'm trying to be steady here. It's got the awning on the side, lighting on the side, tandem axle in the back. I think this is, I really forget, I think it's about 18 feet, but I don't remember. It could be 20. I don't remember. Here's all my gear. You know, for me, unless I have 10 of everything, I don't have enough. There's just something wrong with me. So here's all my shirts. A lot of them still have their tag on it. Brand new. I'll usually wear them 2-3 times and then give them away and buy new ones. Here's just some stuff, miscellaneous. Boots. I got them all over the place. I do want to show you one pair of nice boots here before we shut this video out, because they're so nice these days. Those are called Garnets. I'll show you those in a moment. There's all my pants. The motocross pants come a long way also. They're really high-end leather. I buy special ones that are designed for off-road, so they're really cushioned. Okay, you can get a look at the trailer. I have all my stuff up here. I'm not going to open up everything. Every spare part for the bike is in here somewhere. So if I need a new clutch, a new tire, anything you can envision, even if I have to put a new top end in, piston rings, I have it all in this trailer. Here's my toolbox. I had this all custom built in for my tools. It's a mess now. I didn't prepare for this video. I just opened it up and here it is. This is just exactly how it was. I'm doing this on a whim. This is brand new. This is called a Elite knee brace. My wife bought it for my birthday. She doesn't want me to break my neck. It's kind of new. New to the sport of dirt bikes. This is one of my favorite helmet types, made by Arai. They're expensive. They're $600-700 for a helmet, but how much is your head worth? It actually did save my life once. One of the races, me and a couple of bikes collided. My head hit someone else's foot peg going like 40 miles an hour. We all crashed and tumbled, and I actually cracked my helmet in half hitting that foot peg. But my skull was okay. Any other helmet, any other lower, cheaper end helmet, I probably would have been dead. Alright, let me show you the boots. And I want to show you some other stuff. The modern day motocross boots are really trick. These are made by AXO. I have dozens of boots, like 25-30 pair. My favorite pair is made by a company called Garnet, right there. The ankle actually swivels. That's what the boots look like. And what else did I want to show you here? Oh, let's look at this side of the trailer. Nothing special, just all my stuff. It's got an air conditioner, heater in it, up here. And let's take a walk, see what else I got hanging around. Nothing special here, but this is what I haul my trailer with. GMC Savannah. I chose a cargo van because a pickup truck is great and all that, but I can carry more in a cargo van and nothing gets wet. Let me see what else I can find around the property. A little Jeep Wrangler. I use this to get around my property. Actually, I'm on 3 acres. I'm 5 minutes from the beach. It's really nice, from the ocean. I'm going to do some future videos because I'm so close to the Everglades. There's one place I go in particular weekly. It's like a 2-mile walk around the boardwalk through the Everglades and look at all the wildlife and things like that. Like I said, I know this is a gun channel, but I'll just put a special playlist. I don't know what to call it. You tell me. I don't know, Tom's life, my hobbies, whatever. I just think it's good for us to get to know each other and let you see a little bit about my toys here. I'll show you. Well, it's funny. It's like a couple of months ago. Because look at the size of my lawn. This is just the backyard. It's huge, and I'm way in the back. This is the back 20% of it. Those are called traveler palms. They're far away, but I'll zoom in. Very unique type of palm. They grow from the middle out, and I have about 400 or 500 of them. Because I have 1,600 linear feet is what the property is, and they go around the whole entire property. Alright, so here's the backyard. So I needed a good lawnmower, so Mr. Easy Sell Me. Oh, here's the kids' play area. Swings on the tree. That's a beautiful tree there. Look at that. That's called a ficus tree. Every night at sunset up there, that real tall one, there's an owl that sits there. coming pretty close to now. It's about an hour away, sunset. I love the wildlife. That's why I want to bring you to the Everglades and do some videos. A very close friend of mine has an airplane that is a seaplane, and we fly around and we land in the Everglades and look at the alligators. I'll do some videos of that. But anyway, I was telling you, I went into the shop to buy a lawnmower, and I just said, "What's the best one you got on the floor?" He goes, "Well, what are you going to do with it? Mow your backyard?" "Yeah." "Well, you don't need something like this." I go, "What is it?" He goes, "Well, this is all commercial. This is what they used to do golf courses, like golf courses that are, you know, miles and miles of golf course, 18 holes of sod." I go, "Yeah, I'll take that." It's, I don't know, it's called the Z-Master Commercial by Toro. The whole frame is solid. There's nothing. It's like a tubular frame or something they call it. It's awesome. It goes 15 miles an hour. I feel like I'm riding my dirt bike on it. That's how you steer it, with those little 2 bars there. My wife should do a video of me riding this thing. I'm really good with it. But anyway, that's my lawnmower. And the only reason why I don't pay someone to mow the lawn, because I get a kick out of it. I put my headphones on, I listen to my Led Zeppelin, and I'm good to go. Okay, I'm standing way back here at the trailer, looking towards the front of the property. And I'll zoom in. It's a nice camera, the Sony. I can zoom way in like I'm standing next to it. And I'll say goodbye on this note. Just, I know it's a gun channel. I think it's kind of cool that we get to know each other. You know more about myself and my hobbies. Not to boast or anything, just I have it. I might as well share it with you. Hey, before I check out, I just have one last message. I just put all the bikes away. I put the car away. Everything's packaged up here nicely, and you know, I just want to say that I do not want to come across as a materialistic person. It's very important to me that my viewers realize that I'm a spiritual person, and I did work hard to accumulate the things that I do have. It's important to me to portray that my integrity is everything that I have. If I breach my integrity, if I'm dishonest to people, then I'm absolutely worth nothing. If I'm not a good family man, if I'm not a good father to my 2 young girls and a good husband to my wife, then my purpose is basically zero. And I really hope that all of you who are without work right now, we're in a recession, I hope you find work. And just think about your spirituality a little bit. I'm not trying to push it on you, but whenever I was down and out, and believe me, I've been down and out, and whenever I asked God for help, He answered. These toys I'm showing you are just, that's what they are. They're just toys. If you want to accumulate nice things and accumulate things that you desire, just ask God for them and they'll come to you. I know it sounds kind of strange, but it's real. We're not just all here by mistake. We all have a purpose, and we're all equal. And I care about all of you. I don't want this video to come across as a materialistic type video. Thank you for watching. And hey, we're going to do some really cool stuff. Like I said, we're going to take a plane to the Everglades and go flying around. Bye-bye.